Hey guys, it's Crystal, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a 7-layer dip. I actually used 8 ingredients, so this will be an 8-layer dip. And you can change the ingredients to how you want, to your preference, more or less, or even different ingredients if you choose. This container I used is just a to-go container that I got from a restaurant, and it came with a lid. And this is an easy way to make the dip so that if you have leftovers and you did not eat the whole thing in one night, you could cover it with the lid and pop it in the refrigerator for the next time you want to have some. So that was really perfect, and it's a medium sized, so you can use any dish or container that you have. This is what I had on hand, and it was a perfect size. You do not need to use hot sauce. I was just showing you guys as an option. I didn't even really use the hot sauce, so yeah. What you're gonna need is some refried beans. This is just a cheap can. It's fat free. I think it's about 8 ounces. Taco seasoning, some leftover taco meat, black olives, sour cream. This is regular sour cream, by the way. Lettuce that was cut, cheddar jack cheese, cilantro, and salsa because I did not use tomatoes. So what you're going to want to do is take the refried beans out and put it in the clean container, and you're just going to spread it around and make sure that you get it and make it even, nice and even, and get it on all the corners. This is fat free, so this is kind of reminding me of what I used on Saturday when I made this dip the first time, because we bought vegetarian because I saw a YouTube video and the YouTuber told me that she bought vegetarian refried beans because it does not contain lard. This can of refried beans that I'm using now does not contain lard. I checked the ingredients, so I'm guessing that's why it says fat free. But you can just buy vegetarian, so you don't have to have that extra ingredient that you don't need in there. I used about a quarter of the rest of the taco seasoning because when we make tacos at our house, we don't use the whole packet unless it's a big serving of meat. So we usually use half, and this was the half that was left over. And I probably used all of about a quarter in total, plus the half that I used for the taco meat. So a quarter of the seasoning was probably used in total. Um, so that's basically about 4 parts. I used basically 3, and then 1 part would be left over. And I put this on top of the refried beans just to give it a little bit of flavor, and I placed it also in the taco meat to give the taco meat a bit more flavor because they are leftovers, and leftovers sometimes lose their flavor over time, so you just want to kind of give it a kick of flavor. You're gonna mix it, and then you're gonna spread it on top of the beans as evenly as you can. This was a perfect amount of leftover meat to place on top of the refried beans because this was not a big dish, so that was the perfect sizing that we had left over. I'm gonna use a clean spoon because I do not want to mix the ingredients from the taco meat into the whole batch of sour cream. So I'm gonna take a big little dollop dollop of daisy, and I'm gonna spread it around. And I love sour cream, so you want to use a good amount, not too much, but just enough so that it's an actual layer and you could taste it. Thick enough so that you could taste it and see it, but not too thin. And just make sure that you spread this all around. And then I'm going to add another sprinkle of the taco seasoning. Like I said, I like flavor, so that's why I'm adding so much. You do not have to add as much as I did. That's just a preference. So now I'm going to add the cut up lettuce that I prepared. You do not have to use lettuce. You could use some green onions, or you can use guacamole, or anything else that you might want, corn, or anything like that. And just spread it so that it's filled in and looks like a layer. So So then I added some cilantro. You don't have to use cilantro. You can actually use cilantro or green onions or both. I chose just to use some cilantro because we used all of the onions on Saturday when I first made this dip. And some salsa because we did not have any, or we didn't buy any tomatoes. I shouldn't say we didn't have any. We just didn't buy any for the dip. I felt that salsa would be a bit easier, and it has some other ingredients in it as well to give it a bit more flavor. And you just want to place this on top and just kind of sprinkle it around and spread it around. You don't want to use too much if the salsa is a bit more wet and liquidy and not as thick. So you just want to try to be careful with that, because this dip that I made this time right now did turn out a bit more liquidy as we ate it that night, but it turned out all fine. It all tastes very good and the same, but it was a little bit liquidy because the salsa was not really thick. And you want to just place your mixed cheese on top of that. You could use just cheddar cheese, or you could use any mix that you want, or you could actually grate your own cheese. We actually bought a couple of bags of shredded cheese, so we just used that because there's so much cheese left over. And make sure you get it in the corners and make sure that it just basically looks even and nice. And olives. I love olives, and I've seen people on YouTube who use only a little bit of olives. I really don't care. I chose to use a lot more olives because if it's going to be a layer, you want to use enough so that you can get some olives in every bite. And I used maybe a good handful or more. And yes, that's sour cream on my hand because we used the container from Saturday, which was the sour cream container, and we just placed the olives in there because we had some also for a vegetable platter. So we just placed the extra olives in the container to make it for easy transport. And then that's basically it. I'm going to use a lemon just for some added flavor. You don't have to use lemon. This is one of the many things that I add to a lot of my food, and it's just an option. People don't normally use lemon, or I haven't really seen them use lemon on top of this dip, so that was definitely a preference. But this is it, you guys, and it looks delicious and it tastes delicious, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thumbs up, sub, and like, and I'll see you guys later.